day, brother. Bit of a different setting today. But this video, man, fucking hell, I've worked so long to make this video. And honestly, if I had seen this video a couple of years ago, it would have saved me years of my life. And I haven't seen anyone else talk about this because we'll go so detailed in this video on an issue that is every single day, on an hourly basis, literally, keeping your relationship from developing into the deep, loving, sexy relationship that you actually want and that would actually satisfy you. You know, people say, oh, just love yourself and then your relationship will be fine. Yeah, okay. But I want a satisfying relationship. I want to feel satisfied in my relationship. And I think you want too, right? What we'll talk about is self-image, self-perception, how you see yourself. Because that is a crucial step to really mastering your relationship. You know, at the end of the day, how I see myself affects precisely how my girl sees me. Not because she knows exactly how I see myself, but because my self-image controls my thoughts, and my thoughts control my actions. And so she sees those actions and sees essentially what I see in myself, right? Now, be honest with yourself. Do you want your girl to admire you, to look up to you a bit, and to, yeah, love you for that, for how impressive you are? I'll be honest with you, that won't happen if you don't think that you're impressive. And now you might consciously know, like, oh, I'm a good guy, I'm impressive, I do good stuff, right? But your self-image might not have caught up to that yet, right? This is what usually happens. This is what happened to me a couple of years ago as well. You know, what I realized over the years is my insecurity makes people around me insecure, right? I told this story recently on the channel where a guy, I have an office in an office building, right? And another guy from that building, he came into my office and he just wanted to ask me a question, but he was so insecure. He couldn't look me in my face. Like, he literally looked up at the ceiling or to the ground and like couldn't stop fidgeting and just stumbling over his words. And that made me so insecure, even though I'm not insecure, right? And yeah, it really like affected me. And the same exact thing is true for your girl. You know, like I said, you might know consciously that you're a pretty good guy, that you do impressive stuff, that you're like maybe self-developing, all that kind of stuff, right? But at the end of the day, if you're insecure, if you're maybe insecure in the bed, if you're not really confident when you talk to her, you don't know what to say, you don't know how to interact, you don't know how to interact with other people in general, and you're just not at a place where you're happy with who you are, and you don't see yourself as the guy who you actually are, then that will really negatively affect your relationship. It will give you a lot of just negativity, negative thoughts in general, and also a lot of like limiting beliefs, a lot of mindsets and paradigms that hold you back from actually building the relationship and the life that you want. Now, if you know that this is an issue and you want help with this issue, you can always book a free call with me and I'll help you figure this out. But to be honest, I got bullied a lot. I got bullied for like 8 years in school, and that wasn't really the nicest time. And if I'm being completely honest, my self-image, I really realized this beginning of 2023, my self-image was caught in the past. I really just thought that I'm still this skinny, weak, insecure guy, even though like day to day I wasn't that guy, right? I wasn't skinny anymore. And that still is a thing that keeps going in my life. Like, that is still a thing that I'm just continually working through, this old self-image of me being this scrawny little kid that is very low in the social hierarchy and that gets picked on and that can't defend himself, and yeah, still working through that. Recently though, one of my mentors, actually a business mentor of mine, he broke some limiting beliefs. And yeah, mostly, like I said, for business, right? Just some beliefs that I held that held me back from making progress in business. And what was very interesting about that was, at the end of the day, it massively improved my relationship. The fact that he broke these mindsets that held me back initially in business, I realized they're holding me back as a human, as a man, as a lover as well. And at the end of the day, it really just built my relationship into a relationship where I'm way more confident. And even before that, I was pretty confident and I could lead pretty well. And my girl did admire me and all that stuff. But now it's just supercharged, man. Like, it's within a few weeks just a massive difference, because I can see myself a lot more positive and I can see the world a lot more positive. And yeah, really has made a big difference. You know, essentially there are two ways to really improve your self-image, and not just improve, but like get a realistic self-image, because most likely for most people their self-image is just stuck in the past, right? We're just stuck in the past thinking like, oh, I'm still this, for me, this scrawny little skinny guy who got bullied, right? Even though I'm not. There are two ways that really make sense, and the first one is, maybe you've heard Alex Hormozi, the entrepreneur, talk about this: building an undeniable stack of proof that you are who you say you are. If you say you're on self-improvement, if you say you're a good lover, or not even just who you say you are, but who you want to be. Build an undeniable stack of proof that you are who you want to be. Being disciplined, doing the shit that you want to do. But the thing is this: there are so many guys who go to the gym, for example, who build a really impressive body, yet they have body dysmorphia. They essentially built an undeniable stack of proof that they have a good body, because they do have that good body. But they have body dysmorphia, and they don't like their body, and they're insecure about their body. Isn't that interesting? Well, that is because limiting beliefs and mindsets that we hold about the world and about ourselves, that self-image, is stronger than that stack of undeniable proof. And yes, it definitely helps, right? And you can't convince yourself that you're disciplined even though you're not. You can't convince yourself that you have a great body when you're overweight. That just doesn't work. You can accept it, you can be grateful for where you're at, but you can't say out of just manipulating your self-image that you have a great body even though you don't, right? So both of these play a role, but I think the internal self-image is much, much more important here. I'll give you a few examples of both that undeniable stack of proof and then also how you can change your self-image sustainably in the long term. Essentially what I did to build that stack of undeniable proof, for example, is like I have this, or had this self-image of like being the weakling, right? That kind of stuff, and being insecure. One thing that massively helped me is keeping my word to myself and to other people. Brother, I said that I would film 4 videos this week. It is Sunday, 8 p.m, it is snowing outside, and I'm filming this video because it is the 4th one that I need to film this week. Stack of undeniable proof. Another example would be, specifically for like the weakling part, right, would be a couple of weeks ago, I went on a hike with my girl and a friend of hers, and I don't know why, but I wanted a challenge that day. I wanted some kind of physical challenge. I hadn't been on a hike all winter. I hadn't really been skiing all winter, so like I was just eager to do something that physically challenged me, besides just working out as I usually do. And then after 10-15 minutes on that hike, like a 1.5-2 hour hike, I saw a rock. And I remembered a video clip of Dr. Andrew Huberman carrying a rock up some mountain, some hill. I was like, nice, this is what I'm gonna do today. And that rock was heavy as fuck, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was struggling, brother. My legs were fine, but carrying a rock on your shoulder like this, like a 35-pound plus rock on your shoulder like this, which the rock isn't symmetrical, it's not like you can just pick it up nicely and stuff. You have to kind of hold it on the edge. I scraped my ring like a madman, don't care. But at the end of the day, my shoulder, my forearm, my traps were so fucked when I got to the top of the mountain. So many people looked at me weird. My girl and her friend told me just leave that damn rock. Like, what the fuck are you doing, right? And it is a strange thing to just carry a rock up a mountain. I'll admit that. And like 30-40 people came down the mountain when we walked up and just asked me, like, every single person, like literally every single person. I think there were like 40 people who asked me and like 3 people who didn't ask me. All of these 40 people asked me, like, why the fuck are you carrying that rock up the mountain? I'm just like, I want to challenge myself. I saw this rock, I wanted to challenge myself, right? And at the end of the day, I get to that top of that mountain. One thing I didn't even tell you, there was a a group of 5 guys, maybe a bit younger than me, who looked kind of popular, right? These would have been the guys a couple of years ago who would have bullied me in school, and they looked at me weird when they passed us. They actually, they were faster than us on the way up, and they kind of looked at me weird. And like one of them, I heard while they passed us was like, why the fuck is he carrying a rock up that mountain? Not to me, but to some of his friends, right? And then I get up that mountain. I don't even see these guys. They must have been somewhere next to the like hiking path. And I get to the top of that mountain, and one of the guys from that group, I remembered his voice. He says to his boys, like, boys, look, he actually carried that rock up the mountain. Do you think that I saw myself as a weakling after that? No, I didn't. But here's what's even more profound, because this is like the external thing, right? Now let's get to the internal. One principle that I recently learned about from the book Think and Grow Rich is the principle of autosuggestion. This book is not a book on just making money, but a book on setting and reaching goals effectively. And autosuggestion is pretty much just our brain's way of giving us what we set as a goal. Of you set a goal, and then you know this, you set a goal and you obsess about that goal, and then when you're in the shower, when you're cooking, when you're eating, when you're not distracting yourself, you can't think about anything else other than that goal. Your brain just obsesses about that goal. That's what autosuggestion is. And how do we influence that? Visualization. And yes, visualization can be great if you visualize a goal, or you visualize like a certain outcome, right? Like you visualize the watch that you're gonna buy when you make a certain amount of money, or something like that. What you can also visualize, which is actually way more powerful in my opinion, is visualizing the person that you want to become. How would that person act? How would that person feel? And really visualizing, because at the end of the day, if you want to reach a goal, you don't just reach that goal, you have to become the person who can reach that goal, right? If you see some young millionaire that actually made that money by himself, not got that money from daddy, then that guy became the guy who can make $1 million. He didn't just magically make $1 million, he became the guy, if he didn't make it through crypto. But even then, like, I don't believe in luck. So he became that guy. And what you can do is you can visualize who you want to become, who you want to be. You can visualize where you want to be. And your brain, through the principle of autosuggestion, will then automatically help you do the right actions to become that person. Extremely powerful stuff. This might sound a bit woo-woo, but this is extremely, extremely powerful stuff. I have set one business goal for myself, and my brain is constantly obsessing about this stuff and constantly obsessing about who do I have to become to actually reach that goal. It's actually crazy. And since I've read that book, my behavior has fundamentally changed. And not just my behavior, but my self-image has fundamentally changed. Now, another thing that I want to give you here is there is a book called No Bad Parts. It is a book by a scientist who has studied trauma for decades and who has pretty much just built a therapy method for curing trauma. I've read that book last year, and it has immensely helped me. What this book essentially explains is we all have different parts within ourselves, and this is not like multiple personality disorder or schizophrenia or anything like that. This is every like normal human without any mental illness has this. You know these parts, by the way. You know the inner critic, for example. That is a part that many people have, including myself. And these parts, essentially, what they do is, and this is the reason why we often have a self-image from the past, these parts all want to help us. They all want to help us in some way. The thing is, though, some of these parts are caught in the past because of some traumatic or multiple traumatic experiences. And I don't want to be the guy who's like, oh, you have trauma and that's why you can't achieve anything in life. No. That's not what we're talking about here, right? What I'm saying is, these parts, some of them, might be stuck in the past. I had one of these parts. This is very intimate now, but I'll tell you this. One of these parts got me to act in ways, influenced me to act in ways that didn't really fit to my current goals. And when I finally got like in touch with these parts, this sounds fucking weird, but you can essentially read this book. It will blow your mind. You can talk to these parts. You can kind of make yourself understood to these parts and also understand these parts. And what this part explained to me is, at the end of the day, he said to me, yeah bro, I have to do this because you're 13 and you're getting bullied and your parents don't really are the nicest people to you and your friends aren't either. Like, you don't really have a safe place. I have to do this to you. I have to, yeah, influence you in that way. And I'm like, wait, you think I'm 13? He's like, yeah, you're 13. And I'm like, brother, I am 22 years old. He's like, shut up, you're not 22. I'm like, I'm 22 years old. The moment that part realized that I'm not 13 anymore, that I don't need his safety anymore, my behavior fundamentally changed. And this influenced my relationship actually in a big way, because I didn't think anymore, or this part didn't think anymore, that I was that 13-year-old skinny, insecure guy who got bullied and who didn't feel safe in this world. He understood that I'm 22 and that I've moved past that. And to be honest, this is an ongoing process with that specific part. This is a lot of stuff that I have to work through here, and I don't say that to get pity from you. I just say that because maybe some of you can relate and cannot feel alone in that journey. Yeah, but man, that has fundamentally changed everything for me. Now, brother, if you right now are in a relationship that is not really going your way, a relationship where you don't really feel satisfied, and maybe even a relationship that is slowly dying, but you love this woman and you want to make it work with her, you can book a free call with me. I suggest you book that free call, because in that call we will go over what you're struggling with, what your goals are, what's holding you back from achieving those goals in that relationship, and then we'll see whether we're a good fit for each other, and if we are, I'll offer you my help. If you don't just want your relationship to survive, but you want it to thrive, and you want to build the relationship that both you and this woman you're with, and maybe your children or future children deserve, then book that call with me right now. There's a link in the description. Book that call with me. You have nothing to lose because that call is completely free. I'll see you in there. Have a good day, man, and I'll get out of here. I'm fucking freezing, to be honest. It's 8:30 p.m. My pants are completely wet. Like, brother. But I said I would film this video and I did, and I'm proud of myself. Have a good one, bro. I'll see you soon. Book that call if you want to.